Notes on 1.9 are on algebra of parallel lines. Let's start with a warm-up. If line L is parallel to line M, find the measures of all of the angles below. Since 135 is on the left side, the vertical angle to 135 is angle 7, so it is also 135. To find 5 or 6, you're just going to take the supplement of 135, which is 45. 5 and 6 are vertical angles, so they will be congruent as well. Since L is parallel to M, I can use corresponding angles. So 135 is the same measure as angle 1, and angle 2 is 45. 45, and we have 135. If line M is parallel to line N, identify the other angles that have a measure of 5x plus 35. Let us mark the lines parallel. 5x plus 35 is a vertical angle to angle 1. So angle 1 will have a measure of 5x plus 35, and then angles that are corresponding. So angle 5 corresponds to angle 1, and angle 8 corresponds to angle 5x plus 35. Number 2, identify the other angles that have a measure of 45. We see the 45 in the bottom left corner. That's a vertical angle to angle 6, so they are congruent. 6 is corresponding to 2, so 2 is another 45-degree angle. And then 3 is alternate interior to 6, so that is another 45-degree angle. Line DC is parallel to line EF, so mark the diagram. Set up an equation that can be used to solve for x. The angle marked with 2x minus 45 is a corresponding angle to x plus 30. That means they are congruent. So you can set up 2x minus 45 equals x plus 30. We write, if lines parallel, corresponding angles congruent. Let's solve for x and then find out what angle DEF's measure is. Subtract x from both sides, add 45. The measure of angle DEF is going to be represented by x plus 30, so let's plug 75 in for x. In this diagram, we have parallel lines already indicated. The angles that are shown are same side interior angles. And since the lines are parallel, those angles are supplementary. Therefore, I can add them up and set them equal to 180. I'm able to do this because if lines are parallel, then same side interior angles are supplementary. Let's solve the equation. Add 16 and 64, subtract 80 from both sides, and divide by 4. We are given that J is parallel to K. Mark parallel. Angle 5x plus 55 is a corresponding angle to 2x plus 100. Since the lines are parallel, we know that corresponding angles are congruent. So you can set up 5x plus 55 equals 2x plus 100. If lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Solve the equation. I'm going to find the value of 5x plus 55. That's 5 times 15 plus 55, or 75 plus 55, which gives me 130. That angle right there is 130, and the supplement of 130 is angle 2. So the measure of angle 2 is 50 degrees. For 12 and 13, parallel lines are indicated in the diagram. The first question asks us to find the value of x. We can easily do that over here on the right. We have two angles side by side. They're adjacent to one another and form a straight angle, so they're supplementary. 15x minus 5 plus 125 equals 180. Let's find the value of x. Now we can use the parallel lines on the next one because the angle 7y plus 27 is alternate exterior to the angle 125. And since the lines are parallel, we can set them equal to each other. There's an error here in this diagram. Let's omit 14 and 15. Number 16. Mark the diagram showing that line A is parallel to line B. We have corresponding angles here. So if lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Let's set them equal to each other. 2x plus 5 equals 3x minus 13. Solve for x. To find the measure of angle 1, we'll plug 18 into the expression 2x plus 5. We're doing this because 2x plus 5 is a vertical angle to angle 1, and they are congruent. Number 17. Line A is parallel to line B. Angle 1 is x plus 3y. Angle 2 is 2x plus 30. And then angle 3 is 5y plus 20. I know that angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2, so I can set x plus 3y added to 2x plus 30 equal to 180. Next, I need another equation because that one had two variables in it. You have a choice. You can say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because they are corresponding angles. Or you can say angle 2 is supplementary to angle 3 because they are same side interior angles. I'll choose angle 1 congruent to angle 3. The equation for that is x plus 3y equals 5y plus 20. This is our system of equations. I'm going to clean up that system. So the first equation, I'm going to add the x's together, which gives me 3x. There is a 3y in that equation, and then subtract 30 from both sides. That gives you 150 on the other side. Now I'm going to clean up the second equation. Subtract 5y from both sides. So this is our equation. In order to solve for x and y, I need to eliminate one of the variables. I'm going to choose to eliminate x. I'm going to leave the first equation alone, and I'll multiply the second equation by -3. So the second equation turns into -3x plus 6y equals -60. Now that I've done that, you can see that these two equations will eliminate x if I add down. So add down, 3x and -3x goes to 0. 3y plus 6y is 9y. 150 minus 60 is 90. I have a value of 10 for y. Take one of the original equations and substitute in for y. So substitute y equals 10. So I'll get x minus 2 times 10 equals 20. -2 times 10 is -20. Then I'm going to add 20 to both sides. X equals 40. Now that I know y equals 10 and x equals 40, I can find the measure of angle 1. The expression for angle 1 was x plus 3y, so I'm going to substitute 40 for x and 10 for y. That gives me 40 plus 30. The answer is 70. Activity 2 is proving parallel lines with algebra. If we're trying to prove parallel lines, the equations we're going to come up with must be made from vertical angles or straight angles. Look for vertical angles or straight angles in the following problems. Number 16. Is A parallel to B? We don't know if they're parallel yet, so you can't look at this angle and this angle. Those two angles are actually same side exterior angles. If the lines were parallel, then they would be supplementary, but we don't know yet if they're parallel. So you have to look for the straight angle in this picture. Make up your equation from the straight angle. 3x plus 6 is supplementary to 7x plus 14. So if you add those up, set them equal to 180, and then solve. Now that I have x is 16, I can check the value of the angle measures. Let's see if this one, 7x plus 14, is going to be equal to the 2 times x plus 11. So 7 times 16 plus 14. That ends up as 126. Now I'll try 2 times 16 plus 11. That's 2 times 27, which is 54. 54 and 126 are supplementary angles. So yes, A is parallel to B. The reason why they're parallel is because if same side exterior angles supplementary, then lines are parallel. Number 17. We're going to prove whether C is parallel to D. Do not use the 2x plus 8 and the 3x plus 7. You don't want to say those corresponding angles are congruent because you don't know that yet until you know that C is parallel to D. So what you should look for are the vertical angles. 4x plus 5 and 3x plus 7 are vertical angles, so you can set them equal. Now that I know x equals 2, I can check these angles. The 2x plus 8 would be 4 plus 8 is 12, and 3x plus 7 would be 3 times 2 plus 7, which is 13. Those are not congruent angles. C is not parallel to D. That's how you write C is not parallel to D. Okay, number 18, they're actually telling us that A is parallel to C. Please pause the video and work out number 18, then turn the video back on to check your answers. B3 is on a special kind of problem that we practice since we know about parallel lines now. We're going to draw in something called an auxiliary line to help us. An auxiliary line in geometry is an imaginary line that we use to help clarify a diagram. Remember, you do not want to assume the size and shape of the diagram. Number 19, line F is parallel to line G. What we can do in this situation is we can draw in an auxiliary line. Draw in a parallel line through this vertex that is parallel to the other two lines. When you do this, then you can use our theorems. So this 55-degree angle is alternate interior to this angle now. So it too is 55 degrees. I'm going to do that from the bottom now. The 85-degree angle that's down here is congruent to this alternate interior angle there. So that one is also 85 degrees. And then suddenly look what happens. Angle 8 is the sum of 55 and 85. So that's how we can get the measure of that angle. To do this problem, you have to draw a parallel line through that vertex. 30 degrees is sitting up here. That angle is corresponding to this new angle we've created here. So this part is 30 degrees. Now a 90-degree angle used to be there. It used to be 90. Now if 30 of it is above the line, that means 60 of it is below the line. That 60-degree angle right here is alternate interior to angle 1. So that means angle 1 is also 60 degrees. Number 21. There's no difference between this one and the previous two questions, except that you need to draw two parallel lines. Draw a parallel line through this vertex and then one through this vertex. If you want to try this one on your own, pause the video and then turn it back on to check your answer. The 50-degree angle at the top is here. The alternate interior angle is here. So this is 50 degrees also. There was 110 there for the whole angle. So 50 degrees is above the line, then 60 degrees is below the line. I'm going to keep proceeding in this manner. So now I have a 60-degree angle here. That's alternate interior to the angle right here. So this is also 60 degrees. The 140-degree angle is same side interior to this angle right here. So 140 plus 40 makes 180, and because those are supplementary. So angle X is made up of a 60-degree angle and a 40-degree angle. So X is 60 plus 40, which is 100. Now pause the video, do the closure, and then turn the video back on to check your answers. We do not know if F is parallel to G at the start, so we're going to have to look at these vertical angles right here to help us out. Those angles are congruent to each other, so I'm going to let the algebra be equal. Negative 6x squared plus 2x plus 70 equals negative 4x minus 7x squared plus 70. Add 7x squared to both sides. line F is parallel to line G because if corresponding angles are congruent, lines are parallel. Number 2, draw a parallel line through this vertex. 138-degree angle is same side interior to this angle, so that means they're supplementary. So this angle is 42. Now the angle was originally 84 degrees, but 42 of it is below the line, so 42 of it is above the line. And alternate interior angles are here, so we have this angle 42 is alternate interior to this angle, so this is 42, and that's what x is. So the answer is 42.